Deep in the rainforests of Central America, birds are eating berries off the forest floor. Nothing unusual, nothing strange, just nature doing what nature does. Except, these aren't berries, they're ants. And they have absolutely no idea what has happened to them. Something has gotten inside their bodies, changed the way they look, changed the way they behave, and turned them into the perfect meal for an animal they have never even met. This is not science fiction. This is happening right now, in forests you could walk through today. And by the end of this video, you are going to question everything you think you know about who is actually in control of a living body.
Meet Cephalotes atratus, a species of turtle ant living in the tropical rainforests of Central and South America. These are tough, disciplined insects. Every single day, thousands of them march through the forest, collecting food, protecting their queen, building one of nature's most sophisticated societies. They communicate through chemicals. They work in perfect coordination. They have survived on this planet for millions of years. But somewhere in this forest, something is hunting them. Not a predator with claws or teeth, something far smaller, far more patient, and far more terrifying. A parasite, so small you cannot see it with your naked eye, that has figured out a way to use these ants as a vehicle. And here is the part that will make you uncomfortable. It doesn't kill them to do it. It just rewrites them. Let me show you exactly how. It starts with bird droppings. Somewhere above, a bird ate something, digested it, and dropped its waste on the forest floor below. Inside that waste are tiny, microscopic eggs, Myrmechanona neotropicum, a nematode, a roundworm so small it barely exists. The ant has no idea. It is just doing its job, foraging for food, cleaning the forest floor. It picks up what it thinks is a food particle, and just like that, the infection begins. The worm enters the ant's digestive system, moves deeper, past organs, past tissue, past everything the ant's immune system tries to do to stop it, and then it reaches the abdomen. And this is where the story gets deeply, deeply strange. Because the worm doesn't start eating, it doesn't start destroying, it starts building. Building something that has only one purpose, to make a bird eat this ant alive.
Now, I need you to stay with me here, because what happens next is unlike anything evolution should have been able to create. This is where most people stop watching, and this is exactly where the story gets terrifying. Here is what Myrmechanoma neotropicum does inside that ant's body. And I need you to think about this slowly, because the more you understand it, the more disturbing it becomes. Normally, the turtle ant has a black abdomen, dark, unremarkable, invisible on the forest floor. But as the worm matures inside the ant's body, it begins to fill the abdomen with its own eggs, thousands of them, packed in so tightly that the abdomen begins to swell. And then the color changes, slowly at first, then dramatically. The abdomen turns bright red, not dark red, not brown red, bright, vivid, berry red, the exact same shade as the wild fruits and berries growing on the trees above. But the worm isn't finished yet, because changing the color is only half the trick. The ant also starts to behave differently. It begins to hold its abdomen upward, raised, displayed, visible, as if something inside it is saying, "Look at me, I am a berry, come and eat me." The ant doesn't know it's doing this. The ant has no idea. It is still walking, still functioning, still alive, but its body has become a costume, and the show is about to begin. Now enter the bird. Tanagers, thrushes, small tropical birds that spend their days hunting for food on the forest floor. These birds have evolved over millions of years to spot ripe fruit. Red means ripe, red means sweet, red means energy. So when a tanager hops along the forest floor and sees a small, round, bright red object sitting perfectly still, it doesn't hesitate. It pecks, and the ant is eaten alive. Not dead, not killed first, swallowed whole and alive. Inside the bird's digestive system, the worm's eggs are released. They survive the digestion. They pass through the bird's body. They are dropped onto the forest floor below in the bird's droppings, where other ants are foraging, and the whole cycle begins again. The worm used 3 completely different animals, a microscopic parasite, an ant, and a bird that had no idea it was involved to complete its life cycle. It didn't need a brain to design this plan. Evolution designed it, over millions and millions of years, until it was perfect. But here's the question I want you to sit with right now. How does a worm with no brain figure out how to change the color of its host? How does evolution produce something this specific, this targeted, this intelligent? Keep watching, because the science behind this is even more unsettling than the story. Scientists studying Myrmeconema neotropicum were stunned when they first documented this in 2008, because what the worm was doing should not have been possible. Changing the color of a host from the inside requires the parasite to interact with the host's own cells. The worm's eggs physically pack into the abdomen so tightly they stretch the cuticle, which is the outer layer of the ant's body, making it thinner and allowing the red pigment of the eggs themselves to show through. It is not painting the ant red, it is turning the ant's own body into a window so its red eggs can be seen from outside. And the behavioral change? Scientists believe the worm releases chemicals that affect the ant's nervous system. The same way the zombie ant fungus hijacks the brain, this worm may be sending signals that override normal behavior, making the ant raise its abdomen, slow down, and become visible. The ant becomes a display case, a shop window, with the parasite's children lined up inside, waiting to be delivered to the next host. One scientist described the process like this. The parasite has essentially hacked the visual system of the bird, using the body of the ant as the screen. Think about that. 3 animals, 3 completely different species, one parasite coordinating all of them without a single brain cell to think with. And here is what keeps researchers up at night about parasites like this one. Myrmeconema neotropicum is not unique. It is one of dozens, possibly hundreds, of parasites that manipulate the appearance or behavior of their hosts. We have the zombie ant fungus, the tongue-eating louse, the wasp that hijacks spiders, the worm that makes crickets drown themselves. Each one has evolved a completely different method. Each one targets a completely different host. Each one achieves the same result: control. And here is the part of the story that scientists find most unsettling of all. Most of these parasites we have only just discovered. The rainforest alone is estimated to contain millions of undiscovered species. How many of them are parasites? How many of them are doing exactly what Myrmeconia neotropicum does? How many animals, walking, flying, and swimming on this planet right now, are not in control of their own bodies? How many are just a costume, a delivery vehicle, a berry that thinks it is an ant? The next time you walk through nature and you see something small on the ground, something red, something perfectly still, ask yourself one question: is that really what it looks like? Or is something inside it hoping you think it is? Myrmeconia neotropicum, a worm with no brain, no eyes, no plan, that somehow convinced a bird to deliver its children across a rainforest, using an ant it had never met as the envelope. Nature doesn't need to be evil to be terrifying. It just needs time. If this made you question what is really in control out there, drop a comment below and type "I am the berry" if you watched all the way to the end. And watch the next video, because the parasite in that one doesn't just change how you look, it changes what you want.